In the annals of philosophy, there exists a thinker whose ideas remain as radical and thought-provoking today as they were during his lifetime, Friedrich Nietzsche. Born in 1844 in Riecken, Prussia, Nietzsche was a prodigious intellect from an early age. Raised in a devout Lutheran household, his father was a pastor who passed away when Nietzsche was only 5 years old. This loss, coupled with his relentless curiosity, led him down a path of deep existential contemplation. Nietzsche's early academic journey took him to the University of Bonn and later the University of Leipzig, where he immersed himself in philology, philosophy, and classical studies. His keen mind and audacity to challenge conventional wisdom soon made him a professor at a young age. However, his academic career was short-lived, as health issues and an increasing disillusionment with institutionalized education led him to embark on a solitary intellectual quest. One of Nietzsche's most enduring and misunderstood concepts is that of the Übermensch or Overman. This idea, articulated in the Spoke Zarathustra, serves as a call to transcendence, a vision of humanity's potential to rise above mediocrity and societal constraints to create its own values. To Nietzsche, the Overman was not a superior individual in a conventional sense, but rather a being who had overcome the limitations imposed by fear, tradition, and external morality. The Overman represents the highest form of human existence, someone who does not seek meaning from external authorities, but instead creates meaning through sheer will and personal power. But why did Nietzsche believe such a transformation was necessary? To understand this, we must confront one of his most provocative declarations. Gott ist tot, God is dead. Nietzsche did not mean this literally. He was not announcing the physical death of a deity. Instead, he was diagnosing a crisis in human civilization. For centuries, religious belief provided a foundation for morality, purpose, and a sense of order. However, with the rise of scientific understanding and rational inquiry, traditional religious structures had begun to lose their influence. The death of God symbolized the collapse of these old value systems, leaving humanity in a void where traditional morality no longer held the same power. This realization, Nietzsche argued, was both terrifying and liberating. Without an external moral compass, people were left to navigate existence on their own. This absence of absolute truth led to what Nietzsche called nihilism, the belief that life lacks inherent meaning. He saw nihilism as one of the greatest existential threats to humanity, capable of plunging individuals into despair, apathy, or a blind adherence to weak and artificial moralities. But Nietzsche did not advocate for a surrender to nihilism. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity, an invitation to take responsibility for creating one's own values. Here is where the Overman comes into play, an individual who has the courage to craft a personal philosophy, to embrace struggle, and to affirm life in its fullness, without relying on outdated doctrines. Nietzsche proposed that we must undergo a transformation, a self-overcoming. In the Spoke Zarathustra, he outlines 3 stages of this transformation using the metaphor of the camel, the lion, and the child. The camel represents the stage of burden-bearing. In this phase, individuals uncritically accept the values imposed upon them by society, religion, and tradition. They carry these values without question, living in obedience and self-denial. The lion symbolizes the stage of rebellion. Here, the individual begins to question and reject the imposed values. The lion roars in defiance, refusing to be shackled by outdated morality. However, this stage is still one of destruction. It tears down, but does not yet build. The child is the final stage, representing a rebirth of creativity and self-affirmation. The child plays, creates, and determines meaning for itself. It does not seek permission or external validation. but instead engages with the world with a sense of wonder and personal authority. The path to the Overman is not an easy one. It requires immense courage, as it demands that we face the abyss of uncertainty. Many fear this journey, preferring instead the comfort of prescribed beliefs and societal expectations. Nietzsche saw this reluctance as a symptom of what he called the last man, a being content with mediocrity, avoiding discomfort at all costs, seeking only pleasure and security rather than greatness and self-overcoming. In today's world, Nietzsche's warnings remain profoundly relevant. We live in an era where distractions abound, where comfort is prioritized over growth, and where many seek meaning through external validation rather than personal transformation. The Overman is not a relic of philosophical musings, but a call to action, a reminder that each of us has the potential to rise above conformity and embrace the fullness of our own existence. Nietzsche, the ultimate act of willpower, was what he termed amor fati, the love of fate. Rather than lamenting one's circumstances or wishing for a different reality, the Overman embraces life in its entirety, including suffering, setbacks, and struggle. This radical acceptance transforms hardship into fuel for growth, making the individual stronger and more resilient. Nietzsche challenges us to ask, are we living as camels, burdened by the weight of external expectations? Are we lions, breaking free but still defined by what we reject? Or have we reached the state of the child, capable of creating meaning from within? The journey toward becoming the Overman is one of self-mastery, courage, and unrelenting personal evolution. It is a call to rise beyond complacency, to break free from the chains of imposed morality, and to affirm life as a creative force. In the face of uncertainty, many seek comfort, but Nietzsche implores us to seek greatness. The choice is ours, to remain shackled by fear and conformity, or to embrace the challenge of forging our own destiny. The Overman is not merely an abstract ideal, it is a potential that lies dormant within each of us, waiting to be awakened.